Hello and welcome to the special Earth Day edition of The Meteorologist. And I'm coming out with multiple Earth Day videos today. The first one, global warming explained. Now, we all know that global warming is hurting the Earth. But do you know why global warming is hurting the Earth? Well, you're about to find out. Now, the Earth, well, a long time ago, it was made of only a few gases. A tiny bit of carbon dioxide, a large amount of oxygen, an extremely large amount of nitrogen, and the rest of the gases. So, in this makeshift pie chart, you can tell that oxygen and nitrogen are the dominant gases of the atmosphere. But that's not how it is today. Today, the pie chart looks more like this. Nitrogen is still the way it is. The other gases are still the way it is. But there's more carbon dioxide and less oxygen. Now, why can so much carbon dioxide suddenly appear in the atmosphere? Well, unfortunately, it's us, humans. Now, think about it this way. You might be saying, well, how can I get from here to my relative's house 2 states away if I don't have gasoline? And you're saying that gasoline plants, they also produce a lot of carbon dioxide. Well, I'm not saying that you shouldn't go to your relative's house. I'm saying that what if there was a way to purify the gasoline, which happens in the gasoline plants that produce a lot of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases, which I will explain in a minute. What if there was a way to reduce the amount of greenhouse gases from going out into the atmosphere? And that's what scientists and everyday people across the world need to come up with. But first, what is a greenhouse gas? Now, most people have probably heard of a greenhouse or at least know what a greenhouse is. It's a structure in which plants grow. And it's safe from all the outside, like deer and stuff that could eat your plants. But it's fully made of glass and gets plenty of sunlight. And the sunlight that comes in, we can make a little sun here. And so there's a sun. And the sunlight that comes in, you could say, looks like all these rays, these little squiggly things. Now, the sun rays, heat is allowed into objects, but once it hits an object, because the sun's heat comes through radiation, once the heat hits the ground, the light gets reflected backwards, leaving the heat on the inside, allowing the plants to grow. The light is sent backwards and out into space. But the heat is reflected inside again. It bounces off the ground or the plants and reflects back again. Heat cannot go back outside. Only the light can. And so that's why if you ever open a greenhouse door, it's extremely hot in a greenhouse. Because all of that heat is trapped inside. And that's because of the glass. The same thing happens, believe it or not, on the Earth. The Earth is, in a way, a giant plant. A giant plant. It needs all the heat it can get, but it can't get too much heat. That's why we have something called, in our atmosphere, we have a layer called the ozone layer. And the ozone layer does us a double job. One, in purple here, it blocks out ultraviolet rays, sends them flying out into space, and prevents them from entering the Earth. Two, like I said earlier, it allows in those squiggly heat pieces onto the surface, and then they reflect back, and they're allowed out. The light, that is. The heat, which is now red, stays in. But some heat is sent out. The heat reflects. Some heat is sent out, with even fewer heat left. The cycle repeats until no heat is left, but always we have that light and more heat coming in. So it creates a nice effect. The greenhouse effect. We have a perfect amount of heat. Now, what's happening is, as we add carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, we're essentially thickening this reflective layer, and so not as much heat is allowed back in, back out. More heat is kept in, and that's what's causing global warming. All of that heat, along with the natural hot and cold cycles of the planet, is being trapped inside, and so slowly the Earth's average temperature is going up, and that pace will continue to increase if we continue producing as much carbon dioxide as we do today. Now, how do you get carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere? Simple. How about some biology? I don't know if you know this, but you're a human. You probably know that. Yes, you're a human. Humans take in oxygen. The oxygen is taken to the cells through the bloodstream, and the cells take in the oxygen, use it as energy, and send out their waste product, carbon dioxide. So don't say, yeah, it's humans that are polluting the atmosphere. No, it's the factories that are producing much, much more carbon dioxide than every single person in New York City. So that CO2, carbon dioxide to oxygen. So CO2 is sent out into the atmosphere. And that looks like a BO2, so I'm going to correct that. It's CO2. Plants, however, like your average, and I don't have brown, so I have to use black. Oak tree. Each cell allows in certain gases and allows out certain waste product gases. Now, leaves are green due to a process that I will explain in another video, but mostly due to chlorophyll. Now, chlorophyll are those tiny little cells within a leaf. Chlorophyll need one certain gas to do their job of creating glucose, the food for the plant. That's carbon dioxide. Plants take in carbon dioxide, and as a waste product from the chlorophyll, they send out oxygen. It's the constant cycle. We put out carbon dioxide, plants take in carbon dioxide. So for a healthy Earth, the animal to plant ratio, and this is the animal to leaf ratio, the animal to plant ratio, and every single plant, every single blade of grass, every single tree should be 1:1. right? Amount of carbon dioxide going out, amount of oxygen going out. The ratio should be 1:1. But because of our carbon dioxide factories, it's not. The human side is greater than the plant side. And so, there are 2 steps. If we do both, the carbon dioxide amount will gradually decrease and we can slow down global warming. But it's a natural process that does happen to the Earth, a heating and cooling process. And right now, since we are coming out of the Ice Age that happened a couple thousand years ago, yes, it will still increase. But we can slow it down, and we can slow it down significantly by A, plant more trees, and planting more trees isn't the only thing you should do. That I will explain in my next Earth Day special. 2, reduce carbon dioxide and reduce the carbon dioxide that enters the atmosphere. If we do these 2 steps, and if all of us, every single person on the planet, contributes to these 2 steps, we will slow or maybe even temporarily stop global warming. And so, happy Earth Day. And remember, if we all get together, we can save our planet. Thanks for watching. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe. And yes, my subscribe button will be green today for obvious reasons.